Hello, I'm Craig Walters from Aviation Business News, and I'm the editor of Air Cargo Management. I'm delighted to be joined on this video by Phil Wardlaw, the Managing Director at Virgin Atlantic Cargo. Phil, good to see you, and thanks so much for speaking with me.
Thank you, Craig. Great to be joining you today.
Excellent. So, Virgin Atlantic Cargo, you're one of the leading players in the global air cargo industry and an incredibly important part of the Virgin Atlantic business. And I wanted to speak with you, Phil, to get a sense of how cargo activity is faring for you, what the business has recently achieved, what your goals are going forward. 2023 seemed to be a very busy year for Virgin Atlantic Cargo. We covered a good number of stories on our ABN website about what you were up to. So perhaps you can share some of your milestones from last year, new product launches over the last year, and also tell us how digital transformation is also playing a part in the company operations and customer experience, because I'm sure that's a very big part of what you guys are doing as well. So yeah, what can you tell us?
Certainly, thank you, Craig. Yeah, so we came out of the traps really strongly at the beginning of 23. That actually saw us, to your point around digitalisation, we actually implemented a new cargo management system from Acelia, product that we term as Voyager. So that we implemented that in January. So it was an early start to 2023. That had always been our plans, really coming out of COVID, where we'd kind of knuckled down on the core business, but we wanted to come out of COVID strongly and really hit the ground running. So hence our implementation in January of 23. That enabled several digital initiatives for us, but it also allowed us to enable, in the first instance, a refresh of our product offering. So in March, we completely refreshed our product offering, and that framework of new products was really aligned to a digital world. So make it much more easier for our customers to interact with us across a range of products. At the moment, we're on general, pharma and fresh, but we do intend to expand that out during 2024. And then furthermore, we took another step on in the end of Q2. We had our first foray into third-party marketplaces. So we launched with Cargo.one. Again, that was a rigorous process of selecting them as a supplier, but we decided to go with those guys as a launch. They really align with our customer values as well. So launch with those, and I'm really pleased to say that by the end of the first year, but effectively the first 6 months, sorry, I should have said, we also launched our own VAC.com MyVS marketplace or digital booking system. So with all of that combined, we really were only been in digital capability mode for 6 months, but by the end of the year, we actually achieved 20% of all of our bookings being online and digital, which was the target we set ourselves. So really strong move into the digital booking world. So really, really pleased, and we have plans to really expand that out during 24. What else did we do? So I think other highlights, we saw a return to peak. So at the end of 22, we did not have a peak, but a really, really strong peak in Q4 of 23. Tested some of our processes again. So we'd got used to kind of the COVID world and the constant on of COVID. But we needed to get back into a BAU world during the year, but then be ready for peak again. So that tested some of our operational processes. But I think we did a really good job for our customers, and the volumes we saw really returning back to kind of 2019 levels, which was great for us and for the business, but as a cargo market as a whole, to see that traditional peak come back in. So, really busy year with all of our digital implementations, from a core management system through to our own MyBS digital system, and then the launch of our first third-party marketplace. And I've alluded to some plans we have for 2024. So really expanding out that offering on our own MyVS platform, but also looking to implement further third-party marketplace as well. We're not quite ready to announce who they are, but in the next few weeks we should be announcing actually some additions to our third-party platforms.
Great. Sounds like a lot going on. Really good positive stuff there with your digital development as well. So amazing. And I guess one of the biggest topics in aviation right now is the use of sustainable aviation fuel. A lot of attention on that. And I know you made some strides in this area recently with the SAF-C program. So what can you tell us about that? What are you hoping to achieve with it? Current state of play and future outlook. What can you tell us?
So I think I'll just start more broadly. We obviously had our first transatlantic commercial airliner flight back in November, and I think that really underpins as an airline and as a carrier our commitment to sustainable aviation fuel, and showing the world really where we can take this product. And we've been at the forefront of that for 15 years. And our fleet transformation as well, really reducing our carbon, our absolute carbon emissions by over 20% now with that fleet transformation. So I think the SAF program for cargo is then an extension of that. It really underpins that more in a cargo way, obviously, but underpins our airline's commitment to sustainable aviation fuel and decarbonisation. So the program itself, we implemented it in the middle of last year. We launched with DB Schenker. So we had a significant tonnage sale to those guys back in Q3 of last year. And that allows those guys, but also now others. So we provide a carbon calculator for all of our customers. So during all of our meetings with customers, and that they have the ability to engage with us on an ongoing basis to see what their carbon emissions are for all of the shipments they've flown with Virgin Atlantic. We provide certification for the SAF that's been purchased as well, which again shows the Scope 3 emissions savings and what they've purchased with us. And then I think in 24, we intend to do more of that. So obviously engaging with our customers on that program more, and looking to sell more SAF through our hubs as well. So with some of our global customers.
Good. Sounds like an exciting time with SAF. So looking forward to seeing what more happens with that as the year progresses. So good. In terms of challenges, Phil, I think it's fair to say, air cargo experienced bit of a turbulent time over the last few years. 2023 also ups and downs in demand for cargo. So how did Virgin Atlantic Cargo navigate challenges, especially over the last year? What would you say has been your biggest hurdle, and how have you overcome those sorts of things?
I think if we put some of the digitalization to one side, that I think that's a challenge for the industry and was a challenge for Virgin Atlantic, and we definitely needed to overcome that. And the change out of our systems has really enabled that. But there's so much more that we need to do. I think the uncertainty, in the global marketplace is an ongoing challenge, one that obviously is really in front of us as we see now, whether that's war in Ukraine or any other part of the world, and also the Red Sea issues that we're seeing, and even the Panama Canal now is struggling with capacity as well. So I think that's a struggle for all of us, really anticipating where the market's going to be, how we allow for volumes and those fluctuations in volumes. That's a real challenge. And then the digital side of the business, actually just enabling that for the future, for future growth of digital, and being more capable, but also more aligned with what our customers' needs are in that regard, and then moving everyone together at the same sort of pace.
Good. Okay. And if we take challenges aside, we're recording this in mid-January. So what does 2024 look like for the business? Primary goals, what are those? And the objectives for the year. Are you going to be focusing on network growth, or target specific regions or markets? How we've touched on the digitalization side of things, but how is growth in technology going to continue to play a role in enhancing your offering? Next year, this year, what can you tell us? What are you hoping to achieve?
So to start with that, we're going to launch further third-party marketplaces. That's the next thing in the roadmap, offering more of our our products and service levels as well, rolling that out. We need to become capable within the dynamic pricing solution arena as well. As you go online, you need a dynamic pricing solution to really be more relevant and align with what the customer requirements are. So that will roll out as well. So there's lots coming on digital, but you touched upon network. So we will continue to grow the network. We implemented European flying again in the Q4 of 2023, and we've started those services again in 2024. So maintaining and looking to expand that European network will be a priority for us. And then we have some new route launches as well. And probably from a cargo perspective, the real significant one there is Bengaluru, which we start in March. So we're really looking forward to a key gateway in India, really building on our strength in India. We're already very strong in Delhi and Mumbai, but adding Bengaluru to that as well, I think makes us a really significant player in and out of India. And I think that's going to be a great route for us. It's going to be a great cargo route, and that connectivity we can drive through our Heathrow hub as well to and from the US, I think is going to be a significant piece for our network next year.
Good. Lots of exciting things to look out for. We'll be definitely looking for those. So good stuff. In terms of the air cargo industry as a whole, Phil, what are your predictions for perhaps not just the coming year, but perhaps looking longer term, maybe next 5 years or so? We don't have a crystal ball, of course, but how do you foresee the industry evolving? And what role do you see Virgin Atlantic Cargo playing in shaping the future of the air cargo industry?
Yeah, I think some of that talks again, Craig, to the network. So ourselves, we're going to grow our network. We continue to grow new routes every year now. So we'll grow into some additional significant cargo routes. Digitalization, I know I keep coming back to that, but I think we've been so far behind the curve in our industry that we're really playing catch up. So over the next year, not only ourselves, but everyone is really trying to play catch up. And that's where the future really lies for air cargo, getting into that world, being really relevant to the customers, enabling kind of almost like a more B2C type mentality towards that digital interface with our customers. We're talking about things like not only third-party marketplaces and offering the whole suite of products and priorities across the online, but really tailored marketing, making sure we're reaching out to the customers in the way that they want to be engaged with, direct connectivity with customers as well, so they're effectively in our systems, being able to book and driving efficiency for our customers as well. So I think really catch up. We're 10, 15, 20 years behind the curve in that digital space. And now our challenge is to try and compress that into 2 or 3 years, which is the challenge we're taking on and we'll continue to take on for the next year or two. So I think that, and then obviously navigating our way through some of the macroeconomic conditions. I think we will see growth in air cargo undoubtedly. And we're seeing that coming into 2024 and 2025. We see significant growth, and I think that will continue. We're going to have bumps in the road. There always is in this industry, but I think there's going to be significant growth over those time periods as well. So digital growth and some really good network moves for us.
Brilliant. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, Phil. But it's clear that Virgin Atlantic Cargo definitely on a mission to succeed and grow. As you say, with the digitalization and your route expansions and network expansion. So sounds like a lot of optimism for the future. So very interesting to see what you achieve, not just for 2024, but longer term too. So thank you very much for sharing your insights with me.
Thank you, Craig. Great to talk to you.
Good. And just a very quick message for the audience. You can find more video interviews and podcasts from ABN over on the Aviation Business News website and our YouTube channel. Thanks again, Phil, and goodbye.
Thank you.